Today, in our reading of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, we move on to Original Buddhism on page 125. Usually people put emphasis on some particular position or on some particular understanding of Buddhism, and they think this is Buddhism. But we cannot compare our way with the practices people normally understand. Our teaching cannot be compared to other teachings of Buddhism. This is why we should have a teacher who does not attach to any particular understanding of Buddhism. The original teaching of Buddha includes all the various schools. As Buddhists, our traditional effort should be like Buddha's. We should not attach to any particular school or doctrine. But usually, if we have no teacher and if we take pride in our understanding, we will lose the original characteristic of Buddha's teaching, which includes all the various teachings. So, today's Shinryu Suzuki is, in a way, he's cautioning against fossilization, against fossilizing into a doctrine. And the problem with religious doctrine, of course, is that it fixes the truth. It says, we have discovered the truth, and therefore reality must conform to the way we see the truth, rather than seeing the truth directly. So the Zen approach, or the approach of our practice, is to sit down and not approach things and dissect them according to a set of criteria, but rather to sit down and let things appear, allow things to show themselves. So Suzuki Roshi is really warning in a way against doctrine and saying that religious doctrine, Buddhist doctrine, is not the point in Zen practice. Because Buddha was the founder of the teaching, people tentatively called his teaching Buddhism. Of course, we know that Buddhism was a kind of an invention of Westerners, which looked for an ism to apply to all the various Dharma teachings. But actually, Buddhism is not some particular teaching. Buddhism is just truth, which includes various truths in it. Zazen practice is the practice which includes the various activities of life. So actually, we do not emphasize the sitting posture alone. How to sit is how to act. We study how to act by sitting, and this is the most basic activity for us. That is why we practice Zazen in this way. Even though we practice Zazen, we should not call ourselves the Zen school. We just practice Zazen, taking our example from Buddha. That is why we practice. Buddha taught us how to act through our practice. That is why we sit. So we shouldn't call ourselves the Zen school in a way. Suzuki Roshi is really emphasizing again here that our practice is the practice of Buddha. Our practice is the practice of awakening to the truth, not of mastering a doctrine or getting stuck in a set of beliefs and applying that set of beliefs to every circumstance in our life. Learning off all the sutras and rules. No, the Zen approach is a living approach. It's very open and alive to the truth of reality in this moment. That is Zen. And he says we shouldn't even call it the Zen school because, in a way, it's even limiting to do so. To do something, to live in each moment, means to be the temporal activity of Buddha. To sit in this way is to be Buddha himself, to be as the historical Buddha was. The same thing applies to everything we do. Everything is Buddha's activity. So whatever you do, or even if you keep from doing something, Buddha is in that activity. So, in a way, here we are in this body, in this moment, in this place. We are the Nirmanakaya, in a sense. That's what Suzuki is saying. We are the temporal manifestation of Buddha, of Buddha's awakening. You mightn't always feel like that, but this is what we are. Because people have so much understanding of Buddha, they think what they do is the most important thing, without knowing who it is that is actually doing it. People think that they are doing various things, but actually Buddha is doing everything. So we're not on our own here, achieving things on our own, individuals separate from the rest of the world. No, we are sustained and interconnected with all things. And this interconnected, boundless nature is Buddha. And it is Buddha that is doing everything. Even each one of us has his own name, but those names are the many names of one Buddha, says Shinryu Suzuki. We are the body of Buddha. We are participating in Buddha. We are Buddha. We are Buddha nature unfolding. Each one of us has many activities, but those activities are all Buddha's activities. Without knowing this, people put emphasis on some activity. When they put emphasis on Zazen, it is not true Zazen. It looks as if they were sitting in the same way as Buddha, but there's a big difference in their understanding of our practice. So, true Zazen is not self-conscious Zazen. It is Zazen that forgets itself. And our Buddha activity is activity where the individual, the particular, and the universal, or the empty nature of all things, are one. They're the same thing. We live our lives, we walk, we sit, we lie down. We are a particular manifestation of Buddha in each instance. To understand this sitting posture is just one of the four basic postures of man, and they think, I now take this posture. But Zazen is all the postures, and each posture is Buddha's posture. This understanding is the right understanding of Zazen posture. If you practice in this way, it is Buddhism. This is a very, very important point. So Zazen is always being practiced. Because Zazen isn't just this thing, this kind of doctrine that we are following, or it's not this doctrine that we, or a teaching that we learn. Zazen is the true, flowing, empty nature of all things. When we say, I'm doing Zazen, and we take this posture, this is not Zazen, this is acting Zazen. Zazen forgets itself on the cushion. It becomes itself. So Dogen did not call himself a Soto teacher or a Soto disciple. He said, other people may call us the Soto school, but there is no reason for us to call ourselves Soto. You should not even use the name of Soto. Dogen, of course, is, in a conventional sense, Dogen is the great founding master of the Soto Zen school in Japan, 800 years ago. And his teachings are the touchstone for the Soto school in Japan, to which I belong. That Soto school, which is now, of course, flowed out from Japan into the West and into Ireland here. And Dogen is basing his teachings, of course, on all the Chaodong masters, the Soto school as it was known in China, the Caodong school. And the many, many centuries of Zen masters in China, back to Bodhidharma in the 4th or 5th century. The Koan collections and all the great teachers, the Sixth Patriarch and the first patriarch, and all the great teachers of the Chinese tradition that which became the Saodong and later the Soto. And of course the Soto in Japan, and it went off to Korea, and it branched out from China to Korea and to Vietnam, etc. And this in turn is based on the great Indian tradition of the Mahayana, which in turn is based on the original teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, which are collected in the Pali Canon. So what Suzuki Roshi and what Dogen are doing is being, emphasizing that we should not be sectarian or partisan about this. We are all practicing the Dharma. No school should consider itself a separate school. It should just be one tentative form of Buddhism. But as long as the various schools do not accept this kind of understanding, as long as they continue calling themselves by their particular names, we must accept the tentative name of Soto. So yes, we are Soto and we accept that, but this is a provisional name that is just a kind of a skillful means of talking about something, really. But in fact, we are all just practicing Dharma. I want to make this point clear. Actually, we are not the Soto school at all. We are just Buddhists. We are not even Zen Buddhists. We are just Buddhists. If we understand this point, we are truly Buddhists. So, Buddha's teaching is everywhere. Today it is raining. This is Buddha's teaching. People think their own way or their own religious understanding is Buddha's way without knowing what they are hearing or what they are doing or where they are. Religion is not any particular teaching. Religion is everywhere. We have to understand our teaching in this way. We should forget all about some particular teaching. We should not ask which is good or bad. There should not be any particular teaching. Teaching is in every moment, in every existence. This is the true meaning. So Shinryu Suzuki, bringing us back to the origins of all religion, of all Buddhism, of all Dharma, of all the schools of Dharma. Right here and now. The truth of life, the truth of reality. It's raining, the true sutra. Today it's sunny, so this is the truth, the true teaching today. Again, our way emphasizes the ordinary, the extraordinary that is right there in the ordinary. The Buddha activity that is right there in us doing anything in our life, living our life. And this Zazen was there long before Buddha. Shinryu Suzuki makes this point, and will be there long after us. It is the unconditioned nature of things. It is Buddha. In the tradition we talk about the 7 Buddhas before Buddha, before the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, and this is the way of teaching the unconditioned, in other words, beyond conditions, including time, of this state of awakening, this state of Buddhahood. And that this is the origins of Buddha. So this is a vision profoundly lacking in sectarianism. So what I was saying before the battery ran out, my apologies, was that this is a profoundly unsectarian vision, and Suzuki is concerned in this teaching with the origins of the teachings, the origins of religion, the origins of the Dharma, and he's reminding us of that living, unconditioned source where we return to in our practice. And this practice is unconditioned, therefore it is beyond a condition like time, for example. It is a practice that is there long before Buddha and will be there long after us. Um, it is the place from which all religion comes from, but it is before doctrine and before sutras and before scriptures and before rules and regulations. It is the source of the Dharma. It is the source of religion, the source of the Dharma, in that unconditioned state which Shakyamuni discovered, the historical Buddha, as he experienced his great awakening under the Bodhi tree. And this is the practice of Buddha, and this is the practice that we are concerned with. So that's why I think Shinryu Suzuki calls his chapter Original Buddhism, that we were discussing today. It is reminding us of the source, the origin of awakening, the unconditioned state. Okay, so I think I'll leave it at that today. I'm going to move on next time into Beyond Consciousness on page 127. Just a few talks left, and thank you so much for your presence and for being here with me in my reading of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and I look forward to meeting you next time. So, have a great day. Enjoy your practice. Thank you so much.